Today I want to talk with you about something that is particularly near and dear to my heart. It is verbalization while on the range. Very recently I went to a class and there was one guy in the class who every single time that the instructor would say up or shoot or gun or whatever, this guy would scream move, and then he would move. It was like he was motivating himself. And the instructor goes over and he said, "Is that you doing all that screaming?" And the guy just kind of looked befuddled. And the student said, "You want me to stop doing it?" And he goes, "Nah, that's a cop thing." The instructor's a cop, I'm a cop, so we both understood. The instructor and I talked about this at dinner last week, and we kind of chuckled about it. Not so much laughing at the guy, but laughing at the mindset. Now, let me just say this, because I know people just get their undies so in a bind. You know, we have so many people in this industry who don't think that they're snowflakes, but they really are snowflakes. Understand that as a police officer, I get that you have to announce yourself. I get that. Law enforcement needs to consider that when they're teaching their cops to verbalize every single thing that they do, they're tying up what I refer to as computational speed. When I was in law enforcement, I did the same thing. Every time that I ran my weapon dry, I would shoot, the weapon would go empty. I'd drop the mag, I'd get out my next mag, and as I was dropping the mag, I'd say, "Loading!" Or in some cases, guys will say, "Alpha, alpha, alpha!" And their buddy is supposed to say, "Covering," or whatever. I've also heard the weapon goes empty, mag goes out, and you say, "Loading," the guy beside you screams, "Covering," you get it loaded, and you say, "Up!" And then he might say loading. What I have found is that the less time that I spend in verbalizing, the faster I become. Now understand, as a police officer, I verbalized every single thing that I did. When I got out of law enforcement and got into civilian life, I realized I didn't have to verbalize anymore, and I started spending time on the range, testing myself and realizing that I was far more efficient at dealing with a reload if I wasn't busy telling the world that I was reloading. Now, I know some of you are thinking, yeah, you also don't want to be yelling it out loud because the enemy's going to hear you. Okay, whatever. I'm not even going to go there. All I'm talking about is tying your mind up. If you open your mouth to say something, you've just tied your brain to start running your mouth. The better thing to do is just run your weapon empty, and get your weapon up. You don't have to declare it. You don't have to scream it out loud. All you do is just get it done. All right, so look, in closing, I'll leave you with this thought. I'm not even going to go into the whole physiology of things. I'm just going to ask you a very simple question. What happens to your computer when you ask it to do two tasks that are really, really heavy on data usage? Like, for example, I've got a MacBook Pro. If I'm compiling a video like this, and I decide to go and view another video that I have to work on next, the video starts getting choppy because the computer is only capable of really doing one thing at once. Just like the human mind, we can only really do one thing at once. So what I end up getting is chip, 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 chip on the video instead of getting a smooth play. Consider practicing removing verbalizations, because if you are empty, if your weapon is empty, load it. If you're doing something in a fight, then do it. You don't have to tell the world that you're doing it. Just do it. I know that this flies in the face of what a lot of the training is, but you know, understand, as a private citizen, you're not training for tactical band camp. You're training to save your life and that of your loved ones. So your motions need to be very fast and very efficient. That's what I've got for you guys today. As always, I thank you for watching. God bless you all. Get those guns out and practice. Have a good one.